had a little bit of time to chew on the Nintendo Switch details. I was out last week. I'm assuming you spoke with Megan about this a little bit. How delicious is the Switch now that the announcement honeymoon is over and announcement hangover has begun?
I could go in so many directions with this, but let's kind of start by focusing on the first thing that I thought about after the announcement. There were two takeaways, both from my coworker Kyle Orland and from other games writers who I really respect. The first is it's an incredible handheld. As in terms of gaming, there's just nothing like it. We're looking at a 6.2-inch phone, 720p resolution. That's not necessarily as pixel dense as some really nice smartphones, but that is quite a bit for high-speed gaming because we're getting 720p resolution at 60 frames a second for really good-looking 3D games. We're talking Zelda, Mario Kart, Splatoon, these franchises that are a mix of known and kind of super nerdy. They're running very nicely. You've got really good joysticks, really good buttons, good triggers. You've got motion sensing. You've got a touchscreen. You've got these extra little paddles that can just come off and double in this sort of funky two-player thing. They're a little small. They cramp your hands, but it is a really cool party trick that Nintendo's just throwing in for free. This absolutely trounces the 3DS, which was the last system Nintendo made. It trounces the Vita, which was the last quote-unquote great portable system in terms of being powerful and having game-style controls. I mean, there's no cell phone out there that has these sorts of buttons and joysticks that feels that good. So that's half of the equation. The other half, a really weak home system. You plug this thing into your television and you are looking at sub Xbox One and PlayStation 4, that's for sure. Barely better than the Nintendo Wii U. Huh. Now, when that system came out, people said, it's kind of wimpy. I don't know if it's going to hold up very well. So I think Nintendo has an opportunity to come out and tell people, portable. This is a portable system first, and it happens to play nice with your television. However, they are packing in this bundle that they're selling separately for about $100 of a dock, an HDMI cord, this extra bulky power cord, and this extra little Joy-Con handle thingy. So that's you can buy that separately for about $100. So Nintendo could have essentially dropped this thing down to $250, maybe even $200 if they were crazy, and said, you know what, by default, great portable system. If you want to pay an extra $50 to $80, we'll let you have the home kit as well. Start portable, go from there. And the reason I point this out is because the PlayStation, Xbox, and computers like Steam and all that stuff, they all essentially play the same games. If you've got one, they all have sort of the same games with a certain exclusives from Microsoft and from Sony and stuff like that. It mostly comes down to, which system am I going to buy this for? But the Nintendo Switch kind of offers this proposition of, hey, we're going to be the only one that lets you take it on the go and have it essentially look as good, only, with downscaled to 720p, not necessarily the best battery life, about 2.5 to 3 hours for 3D games. But I think that would be a chance for them to differentiate. Instead, Nintendo's shouting it out. This is a home system that you can take on the go. And I feel like that messaging and that pricing is going to bite them in the butt if people look at it as a home system. It's a crappy home system. I've said it. It's an amazing portable system. And that's how I plan on using it. I pre-ordered it because I see that and I'm really excited about it. But there was a developer of the series Borderlands. They're called Gearbox Software. And they came out and they said, we thought about our next Borderlands game, Borderlands 3, being for the Switch. Nintendo's not partnering with us. And what that means is Nintendo is not helping developers take these newish games and downsample and make them work on the Switch. And I really think that could be easy. You lower the resolution, you lower a couple effects, you have these great buttons, and you've got yourself a portable that should be playing newer games. But their online network is not ready for launch. That may not come out until the summer, which is going to require this separate app. And I think that's going to really bite them in the butt, not helping developers with optimizing for a smaller screen, not helping developers with online network stuff. So that to me is what's making me most anxious about a handheld system that is really impressive looking otherwise. So that's sort of the first point in terms of all the stuff I've been looking at about the Nintendo Switch.
Why would Nintendo, if it's such a strong portable and such a weak console, why would Nintendo like take the gamble with marketing it almost equally for both? Because I mean, what you're saying sounds pretty right based on kind of the hunches that I've had in seeing coverage and seeing gameplay and everything like that. It does seem like a stronger portable device than it does a console. Why would Nintendo take that gamble?
Because they are terrified of losing the family dollar. The family that says, I want to plug Mario and I want to plug Zelda into my television and get that.
Yeah.
The problem is, though, they didn't make a system that's going to make that really compelling. And there's just not enough people, in my opinion, who are going to come out in that sort of casual way and get a home system like that for kids, except for rich people with brats. I mean, you can get the Wii U for your kid right now, and there's Zelda and Mario stuff on there, and it works fine. I just think it's a failed assessment of how people play. And I think it's a failed assessment of how many people are going to reject the home nature by default. I do love the idea of being able to plug it in the TV in a pinch. I just kind of wish I could plug in an HDMI cord and have it. It might actually run worse without it being docked. The idea is that when you plug the dock in, that it's got power, and so it's overclocking a little bit and running a little faster. But I would honestly take a crappy looking signal just to be able to take a single cable and plug it super simply into my television.
Right.
But Nintendo's not even seeming to offer that. You're going to need this dock. And that would mean if you want to take this to a friend's house, plug it into their TV, you're going to have to take the dock with you in your bag. And I think that's kind of a blown design decision as well.